何が真実なんだ。
Request backup! You have slain an enemy! You have been slain.
What up, humans? Kurumi here, and welcome to the Mobile Legends Bootcamp. Bootcamps are made for outdated bootcamps, or if there is a request from the higher-ups. In this video, we are going to talk about the assassin, Natalia. Natalia has a good set of dash, area of effect, buff, burst, and invisibility skills. Our Bright Claw, Natalia is an assassin hero. I consider Natalia as a stealth assassin since she becomes invisible with her passive and ultimate skill. Not only that, her second skill makes the enemies blind and make them miss their basic attacks. Now, let me share some tips and tricks on how to use Natalia based on my experience. I will also teach you some combos and techniques on the latter part of this bootcamp. But before that, let me explain her skills one by one for further understanding. Natalia's passive, Assassin Instinct, lets Natalia deal extra damage when attacking enemies from behind. This bonus damage is triggered when attacking enemy heroes behind either with your skills or basic attacks. When attacking minions and jungle monsters, this bonus damage is always triggered. If Natalia is inside a bush for 2 seconds without taking or dealing damage, she will enter a conceal state. During the conceal or invisibility state, enemies could detect you when you are within their indicated radius. You and the enemy will have an exclamation mark above your heads to indicate that you are detected by the enemies. After 2 seconds of continuously being detected or having the exclamation mark on the enemy's head, you will now be visible and could be attacked even if you are still in conceal state. The conceal state will wear off after 5 seconds after leaving a bush. Dealing damage or receiving damage from enemy skills. When in conceal state, Natalia's movement speed is increased, and her next basic attack will blink her behind the enemy target and will let her deal additional damage. The basic attack while on conceal will also silence the enemy for a few moments. Using your passive against a turret will let you blink to the flank side of the turret. Natalia's first skill, Claw Dash, lets Natalia dash forward. During the dash, enemies hit along the way will receive certain amount of physical damage. When the dash hits an enemy, it can be casted again within a short period of time. Natalia's second skill, Smoke Bomb, lets Natalia cast a smoke bomb that will stay in the current spot. In the area of the smoke, enemies will have their movement speed reduced. Meanwhile, Natalia increases her attack speed and becomes immune to all basic attacks. Natalia's ultimate skill, the Hunt, lets Natalia trigger her passive skill instantly. Upon clicking this skill, Natalia enters conceal state, which is the same as triggering her passive skill. Also, she has her physical attack increased by a certain amount. This skill can be used again within a few seconds, which can make you enter conceal state again. There are so many items that you can buy for Natalia. You can focus on items that grants physical damage, extra damage, physical penetration, and items that grants critical chance and damage. You can actually consider the Bursty Thirsty build if you want to focus on more burst damage dealing. You can also consider the Dora Gora build if you chose to be more of a roaming assassin. But let's talk about the Kurumi way further. As for starting item, you can consider buying Raptor Machete. This item is a jungling item, so when buying this, I recommend that you have Retribution spell with you. Anyway, this item grants physical attack and physical penetration. Its unique attribute grants additional damage to monsters. Another unique passive of this item is Breakout. Every 10 seconds, your next basic attack will be buffed with additional true damage. The amount of true damage increases as your level increases, and slows down the enemy. Dealing basic attacks will reduce this unique passive's cooldown. Another unique passive of this item is Greed. This passive grants additional experience when jungling. You recover some health and mana every time you kill jungle monsters. Another unique passive of this skill is Gorge. This unique passive grants you physical attack every time you kill a jungle monster. This stacks up to 15 times. Lastly, this item makes the spell Retribution applicable to enemy heroes. Upon using Retribution, the target will have his movement speed reduced, and will deal a small amount of true damage. For your kicks, you can consider buying Rapid Boots. Rapid Boots grants a massive amount of movement speed to your hero. Its unique passive will decrease your movement speed by 40 points when you deal damage or when you take damage. This effect lasts for 5 seconds. You can consider buying Berserker's Fury. This item gives you additional physical attack and critical chance. Its unique passive grants you additional critical damage on your critical hits. Also, dealing critical hits will increase your physical attack by a certain amount for a short period of time. You might also want to consider Blade of the Heptases. This item grants physical attack, health points, and physical penetration. Its unique passive grants your next basic attack to deal extra physical damage, equivalent to a percentage of your physical attack if no damage was taken or dealt within 5 seconds. You also might want to consider Blade of Despair. This item grants additional physical attack and movement speed. Its unique passive will give you additional physical attack when the target's health is below a certain percentage. The movement speed bonus can also help you chase enemies or escape death. Buying attack items, such as Endless Battle, can boost your damage effectively. This item gives you additional physical attack, health, mana regen, lifesteal, movement speed, and cooldown reduction. Its unique passive grants you additional true damage on your next basic attack after using a skill. Triggering the passive of this skill also grants you additional movement speed. With the cooldown reduction in its unique passive, Natalia will be more explosive with this. Lastly, you might also want to consider Wind Tucker. This item grants you attack speed, movement speed, and critical chance. Its unique passive grants your next basic attack to deal magic damage to 3 enemy units. This unique passive has a cooldown of 3.5 seconds but may be lowered as your critical chance rises. Every time this unique passive is released, your movement speed will be increased for a short period. The item build for Natalia really depends on the enemy's lineup. So make sure to read each item's descriptions so you can adapt in-game. One of the best spells to be used on Natalia is Retribution. This will deal true damage to the target minion or jungle monster. When you have a jungling item, having this spell will decrease the damage taken from jungle monsters permanently. This spell will help you farm more gold faster. Building items quickly will give you advantage against enemies, making it for you to prey easier on squishy targets like Marksman and Mage. You might also want to consider Inspire. This spell greatly enhances your attack speed massively. Also, the next basic attacks dealt will ignore a certain amount of the target's physical defense. This lasts for a few seconds. You can also consider the Forbidden Jutsu, Execute. This deals a certain amount of true damage to the target. The damage also depends on the enemy's lost health points. This spell ignores the shield effect of the target. If the target has been slain using Execute, its cooldown will be reduced. In my opinion, the best emblem set to be used is the Custom Assassin Emblem set. Custom Assassin Emblem could provide extra stats according to your needs as an assassin. Set agility to its max level because it can give you additional movement speed. Higher movement speed means higher chance to chase enemies or escape death. Setting invasion to max level will provide you physical penetration. Higher physical penetration means higher damage on your basic attacks and skills. Get high and dry to increase your damage to the target when he is the only nearby hero. This is advisable when you try ganking a single hero. But in case you are not that type, just consider Bounty Hunter or Killing Spree instead. Set first skill to max level first. Prioritizing this makes the cooldown of this skill lower and the damage higher. That means, you can cast this skill again as soon as possible for mobility and burst damage. Prioritize second skill less since your first skill is what you need for mobility. Always upgrade the ultimate skill when available for upgrading. Natalia's passive is what makes her really unique among assassins, with the ability to conceal herself and be invisible. This really makes you a stealth assassin. Her next basic attack when concealed will let you blink behind an enemy. That's more likely of a stealth ninja. Not only that, the target will be silenced, but do take note that enemies can detect when you are around because they will have an indicator above their head to tell them that you are near. If there is a red indicator on your head, it means that you are within the enemy's vision range. When you are within their vision range for 2 seconds consecutively, you will be visible on their screen and could now target you with attacks. So it's recommended that when you see an exclamation indicator on the enemy's head and yours, better keep away from them as soon as possible before they see you on their screen. This red exclamation indicator is also applicable even if the enemy is in the bush you are approaching to. This is a good indicator that could tell you to either avoid going in that bush, or tell you that the target you are chasing is inside it. Another thing about her passive is your damage, including basic attacks and skills, will be boosted when you attack targets from behind. This is really helpful, especially enemies that will be surprised with a bang from behind. Also, if they try to flee, their backs are facing your claws, making them more vulnerable to their inevitable death. This is also helpful on early jungling because as per the description of this skill, the bonus damage are always applied to the jungle monsters. This will make you deal more damage and kill the jungle monster swiftly as possible. We will show you some of our experiments on this skill on the laboratory experiments part later. Natalia's first skill is what you need for mobility. With the ability to dash towards a specified direction, this could let you dash to chase enemies, or dash away from your death. This is really helpful since it is expected that after you blink behind the enemy, their initial reflex is to blink or dash away from you after the silent status. In that situation, you can use your first skill to chase after them. Just make sure you make the dash hit an enemy so that you can use this skill again to either chase further or to mamba out. You can pass through walls to let enemies eat your dust. But take note that you are not able to pass through thick walls like this. Natalia's second skill is what you need to slow down enemies. The smoke will slow down enemies, making it difficult for them to escape their inevitable death. Not only that, enemies' basic attacks will miss if you are inside the smoke. So much for playing being a ninja. You can now achieve your dream being a ninja. Congratulations. You also have your attack speed increased, so this is best to swiftly kill targets. Natalia's ultimate skill is what you need to be back into the conceal state even without kissing the bushes. After clicking this skill, Natalia will be in a conceal state regardless if she is inside a bush or not. This could help you chase enemy further, since your next basic attack on conceal state will make you teleport behind the enemy. This really makes Natalia a true stealth ninja. You can use this skill again after a few moments. Take note that the first basic attack after a conceal deals extra damage and silences the enemy. So this is really helpful against enemies that could use skills for mobility. Also, you can use this to escape death since being on conceal grants you additional movement speed. You can use this in combo with your other skills to execute the best escape you will ever do in your lifetime. Also, using this skill will empower you with additional physical attack for a few seconds. This contributes additional damage that will make your damage burst even more. Lastly, this skill is really good especially if you are in a place without a bush like your base. You can go into conceal because of your ultimate skill without the worry of finding a bush. Here we are again with our experiments. We have our favorite lab rat, Rakuten, to demonstrate with us some heroes that could be either a threat or a food to Natalia. First, let's have Iritel. Iritel's second skill deals an area of effect damaging roar around her. As what we have mentioned earlier, taking damage will take you out of the conceal state. The range of Iritel's second skill is really wide. So if Iritel could see an exclamation above her head, it would be safe for her to use her second skill immediately to reveal you from the conceal state. Same goes for heroes with big area of effect skills like Kaja. Now let's have Rafaela. We all know her first skill deals damage to all enemies nearby her, including enemies hiding in the bush. So that also means you can be hit by her skill even if you are just passing by. Now, let's have Bane. Bane's passive skill deals splash damage to a large area. If you are within the radius of this splash, it will hit you even on conceal state and will reveal you. Next, we have Leslie. Leslie's ultimate skill shoots 4 fatal bullets to its target. You should also be aware that this ultimate skill can be casted on you even if you are on concealed state. So if you are against a Leslie, always be aware that she can target you when she uses her ultimate skill. How about Diggy? Diggy's bomb chases the enemy that steps within its radius. Let's see what if we step beside the bombs. As you can see, the bombs aren't chasing us. This is because the bombs can't see us. The bombs will only be detonated when we directly step on it. Next, we have one of our favorite heroes to experiment with, Gord. Gord's ultimate skill is a channeling skill. Let's see if we can cancel his ultimate skill's channeling when he is silenced by our passive skill. As you can see, Gord is really a stubborn hero and keeps on channeling even when silenced. So better not attempt to stop his channeling with your silence. Another thing to note, if you kill this cutie little monster, it will follow you all throughout its duration. If you are in Natalia, better not kill this monster because it will be seen by the enemies even when you are in concealed state. Next up, let's test scenarios against Natalia's second skill. Her second skill makes her immune against basic attacks. We have Harith here equipped with Calamity Reaper. Let's see if our buffed basic attack with Calamity Reaper effects could deal damage to Natalia in the smoke. As you can see, our basic attacks doesn't land on Natalia. Even the true damage from the Calamity Reaper doesn't hurt Natalia. This is probably because a basic attack needs to land first to apply the additional damage. Next up we have Claude. Claude's ultimate skill is considered a basic attack. So if Natalia uses her smoke bomb while Claude is recording his viral dance video, she won't get hurt because she is immune from basic attacks. Next up we have Badang. Badang's ultimate skill is also considered basic attacks. So if Natalia uses her smoke bomb while Badang is throwing tantrums, she won't get hurt. Lastly, we have also one of our favorites, Wan. Wan's ultimate skill is considered as basic attacks. So you now know where this ends up. When Natalia uses her smoke bomb while Wan is using her ultimate skill on her, all of her arrows will just miss. In terms of her combo, we have formulated lots of combo for Natalia depending on the situation. So because of that, we will just show you two different combos we used on two different situations. Let's head over to the first combo. First, we make sure that we are on conceal state. Then, we land a basic attack to the target to deal burst damage and to silence them. Then we use our first skill since we blinked behind the target after dealing a basic attack. This will ensure that the damage of our first skill has extra damage because it hit behind the enemy. Then we use our second skill to slow the target down. Then, we use our first to chase the enemy further. Then we deal basic attacks and now we can use our ultimate skill. This will put us on conceal state. Then, we use basic attacks again since we can deal extra damage on the next basic attack because of conceal. Then we use our ultimate skill again and deal basic attacks. Now, let's head over to another combo we frequently use. First, we make sure still that we are on conceal state. Then we land a basic attack to the target. Then, we use our second skill to slow the target down. Then we use our first skill to dash ahead of the target. Then we use our ultimate skill to be on conceal state. Then we deal basic attack to be behind the enemy. Now that we are behind the enemy, we use our first skill again to deal extra damage from enemies behind. Then just deal basic attacks until the enemy is dead. Then if you still haven't used your ultimate skill again, use it to flee and mumble out. Additional tip, you can be whoever you want to be. We felt like being Fanny at this moment, so we did a wall spam to kill the target. Kidding aside, we really recommend you guys to always praise your teammates for their effort. This will boost their morale and do better even further. If you want to take it to the next level, you can also praise your enemies. This is the true spirit of sportsmanship and non-toxicity. Let's all be the better creatures here. The tips I mentioned are just some of the ways you can use Natalia. This video just guides you on how to use Natalia the Kurumi way. We would like to thank our Wakandian brother, Rakuten, for being our lab rat again for this boot camp. You can search for him in-game and tell him how much you appreciate him, willing to sacrifice his pride and honor to be a test subject. Watch his in-game streams and send some flowers and hearts to compensate his sacrifice for us. So, once again, this is Kurumi and that's how you use Natalia. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel for more contents by clicking on the subscribe button below. for our skin giveaway events. Check out the community tab for the giveaway event post. We have our coffee account just in case you want to donate us some coffee funds. Check our coffee link on the description of this video. Please only trust Bootcamp videos from our official accounts. See you on the next Mobile Legends Bootcamp. Cheers.